The Knicks post-game show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Jalen Brunson clutched again when it mattered the most. Steal and lay-in. Knicks down 1. Julius Randle then hit 6 free throws, and Tyrese Halliburton's desperation three to tie. No. Knicks win again. The final count over the Pacers, 109-106. They've now won 7 games in a row. Great to have you with us here in our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito along with Alan Hahn and Wally Zerbiak. The Knicks woke up 2 Sundays ago, 10-13, and Alan, they have not lost since. And what's so remarkable about this 7-game winning streak, I don't think anybody saw it coming.
No, but what you also see is they're doing it on the road. The different ways they're doing it. Doing it with defense, doing it with clutch play. I think that's the other part of it too, Wally. I mean, this was a game that a couple of times felt like it was about to slip away. Jalen Brunson wouldn't let that happen, and then Julius Randle got to the free throw line and made clutch free throws to make sure they got this win.
This is a game where you throw this away. You can't talk about any of these numbers.
No.
It's all about this. That's why the Knicks won this game. That's out. No numbers tonight.
Oh,
the
no.
stat sheet gone. That's gone because the Knicks willed themselves to a victory, and Jalen Brunson would not let them lose. You could see the eye of the tiger in his eyes. He knew how important this game was. This is a Pacer team that's young. They're surging. They're trying to figure out if they're for real or not. This is the type of team you have to send a message, you're not as good as us. We have veterans. Veterans win in the NBA. Pacers struggle down the stretch of games. They don't have a plan. They jack up threes the whole entire game. Yes, they have good shooters. Yes, they're going to have a good future. But right now, it's the Knicks' time to win games like this. Julius Randle making those free throws. He was not going to give the Pacers any little inkling. Miles Turner missing 4 straight free throws in a row. That's what young teams do. When it comes down to winning time and clutch time, the team that has experience, the team that has guys like Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle will win those games. This was a big identity win for the Knicks.
Important. It's good that I saved the box score.
I got mine,
it
too.
Still is very important to note, though.
What? There's nothing of relevance there. It's all about heart.
He's going to find something for you.
You have the big three players that you have.
Okay.
Brunson, Randle, and Barrett.
Yeah.
All over 20 points again. All over 20 points again.
Great. Fine.
Ever since the lineup
Do what it takes
changed.
to win.
Well, that's what's important.
Doesn't matter how many points you score.
You're riding your best
It's all
players.
about how do you win the game. You just go out there and win. Doesn't matter how many points you score.
It does matter because you needed 109 to win this game. So those points did matter. And getting, again, a 30, a 25, and a 24 to your 3 best players, when those guys hit over 20, the Knicks are now 6-1. So when those guys are now, that you're riding them as your offense, and everybody else,
that's a pretty good stat. That's a pretty good one.
And everybody else is filling in as the roles, whether it's rebounding, Mitchell Robinson on the huge day on the boards, Hartenstein and Sims coming off the bench, also getting it done in the paint. You know, Quickly's defense off the bench. I mean, that's what's happening here, is that you found now everybody, and you've talked about this, how everybody needs to know their roles. Everybody knows their roles now.
Yep.
There's a big 3 who score, and everybody else knows we fill in the blanks.
You know, this game was tight from the beginning until the end. There was not a single double-digit lead in the entire game. And in the fourth quarter, while the Knicks found themselves about 2 minutes ago down 6, and yet they were able to fight back and win.
Yeah, I mean, this team's good. Smith, man, he didn't get off the bench when he played in Boston, but he was big time with his defense and everything that he did, knocking down threes. Big Mitchell Robinson offensive rebound there. Makes it a 4-point game. Then Grimes, that was the big shot.
Yes.
The Knicks were struggling to get a bucket. He cut it to 1. After all those missed free throws, the Knicks couldn't get the rebound on the free throw line. Tom Thibodeau's irate. 4-point game. Big shot by Buddy Hield. Then off a Randle miss in
6 points
transition.
under 2
Smith
minutes.
gets the bucket. 6-point game. But who do we trust? We trust Jalen Brunson.
How big is that
what
three?
A huge 3. Knocks that 3 down, cuts it to 3, and then gets the steal, cuts it to 1. So 1-point game. An awful possession by the Pacers. And I don't know what Grimes is thinking here. You don't stop in the coffin corner unless you're planning to call a timeout. I was screaming at the TV, call a timeout, call a timeout, call a timeout. So we got 1-point game, 18 seconds left.
Step back.
Mr. supposed wannabe fake all-star with the big miss there, and then the rebound by Randle. And then Randle iced the game with all the free throws. Last chance down 3 for the wannabe all-star. Let me keep it that way. He's in his 2nd year. He's a very good player. He's not going to make the all-star team. A guy like Julius Randle or Jalen Brunson will make it over Tyrese Halliburton. Tonight we saw why. Oh, it's his 3rd year?
3rd year, yeah.
Yes, you're right. Okay. But just an awesome performance. I mean, overall, the defense was was stifling the team. I mean, the Pacers played well. They made some tough shots in that third quarter. I mean, they fire up those threes, but they got some shooters, and that was just a great performance in the fourth.
I mean, they got all the fast break points they get. They took a ton of threes like they normally do, but it was crunch time once again, as we've been noting with this Knicks team. Crunch time, they have been delivering.
It's Brunson.
Able to do
let's look
It
at
is. Down 6, makes the big three, gets the big steal. Knicks have life again all of a sudden. They have defensive players out there. I mean, he just has that eye, that look.
He's a winner.
He's just so poised, right, guys?
That's what it is. He's got 2 national championships under his belt. He's won every title in high school, college, you name it. I mean, this guy is just a natural-born winner. And you could see it on the bench. He's got great chemistry with Coach Thibodeau and his dad, Rick Brunson. His dad always gives him that little tip coming out of the huddle down 6, like, hey, do this, do this. And Jalen's like, all right, I'll give you the nod. And then what does he do? He delivers. I mean, he just understands the pulse of this team. In that third quarter, nobody else could get anything going for the Knicks, so he had 14 points in the quarter.
Watch him
and a point guard that he doesn't want to
tell the Pacers bench. Quiet.
Yep, that was in the third. Yeah, he knocked that one down.
Right,
that was a huge
big one.
Silencio.
And that's just terrible defense, too. Nemhard going under a screen there, up 6. You don't want to give up a 3. And then the steal, the anticipation. Now the Pacers, they start getting the pedo wheels going. We can't win in the fourth quarter. We can't win in the fourth quarter. The panic pedo mode kicks in for the Pacers.
Have I not been remarkably – wait, hold on a minute. Have I not been remarkably poised here during this run?
Yes.
You're the one, if you could only see Wally screaming, timeout, 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 pounding the set. I mean, I'm cool.
You are. All right, good.
All right, so? Yeah. All right, so
I'm just saying in past.
Okay.
In the past.
But the difference between these teams, you could what we're mentioning, too, when the shots that matter most and the free throws in this game were 15 of 23 for the Pacers. 15 of 23. It costs them not making shots at the free throw line, which is what some young teams will do. But the veteran teams and teams that have a high IQ leader like Jalen Brunson, they get great possessions late, and they make their free throws late. And that's what the Knicks did to get this win on the road.
So the winning streak, guys, is 7 in a row, and the road winning streak is 6 in a row. It's the Knicks' best run on the road since 2013. Tom Thibodeau's team is now 17-13. We'll get the coach's reaction and have the guys break down some key plays from the Wally Wall coming up.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone. On TNT Tuesday, Wednesday, the Knicks host Toronto. Garden of Dreams night in the arena. 7 o'clock pregame game at 7:30. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Knicks beat the Pacers tonight, opening out of the Wally Wall with Alan and Wally, guys.
All right, thank you, Bill. All right, during this winning streak, we've seen some blowout wins. We've seen the Knicks go up by 20 a couple of times. And we also have seen some clutch plays in clutch time to also get some wins. We're going to show you a couple of plays, and one being a shot by Quentin Grimes that maybe he didn't have a big offensive game, but what we're noticing about him is that when it's crunch time, he can knock down the shot.
Timely shot. This was huge. The Knicks were coming up empty possession after possession. They're down 4 points here. They couldn't go anywhere. Brunson couldn't really get anything going. Randall was turning the ball over a little bit. Brunson makes a good decision here, runs that little pick and roll, attracts 3 defenders here, and keep an eye on the way Quentin Grimes. He's so good at this relocation when he sees he has the possibility to get a shot. Now, this isn't a crazy, well-spaced out play. I mean, here, Brunson tries to draw the defense. Halliburton turns his head, gets a little mixed up, and the fact that Grimes moves a little bit gives himself a little bit of space where Halliburton can't get out there to contest and take him off that three-point shot. Hand down, man down. Take that with you, Halliburton. Right in his face, big 3, cuts it to 1 when the Knicks did not have good possessions the prior 3 possessions on the offensive end of the floor.
Wally, very personal about Tyrese Halliburton in this
No
game.
Personal, nothing personal.
Very personal.
I'm just watching him. He's whining about fouls the whole entire game.
You're fired up. That's what you like. But you also like to see Jalen Brunson on the defensive end getting it done. And this is very interesting. So this is it's a critical possession also late in the game. And he makes a read on this that is perfect and turns it into 2 quick points.
And it's also great team defense because the Knicks were smoked here. Now here, freeze it there. Look, Buddy Hield just gets right into the lane, breaks down the Knicks defense, so 3 defenders have to converge on him and help. So that means there's only going to be a couple guys to guard all these open shooters on the perimeter. This was a nice pass by Buddy Hield to get it out to Mitchell Robinson. Good rotation by Barrett, frees it there. Now here comes Jalen Brunson. He's smart. Who wants this shot? Who's the guy that's kind of the alpha on the Indiana Pacers?
Your favorite player,
Halliburton. He's the 42% three-point shooter. Nembhard's a rookie. He doesn't want this shot in crunch time. Jalen Brunson knows this. Watch how he closes out a little bit short, and he takes away the passing lane where Nembhard could have just driven the lane if he wanted, but he telegraphed the pass. Jalen Brunson reads it and gets that easy 2 points to cut the lead to 1. They were down 6 points, 2 possessions before that. Jalen Brunson hit the 3 that we showed in the first block. Then he got that steal, cut it to 1. All of a sudden, you could see the Pacers' faces. They were like, here we go again. We're blowing another lead in the fourth quarter. Knicks completely took the momentum over, and they just took over the game down the stretch in the clutch time.
And the Knicks continue to win, which is the most important part. 7 straight now for the Knicks. Head coach Tom Thibodeau got to be happy about this road trip. 3 straight wins. The coach's thoughts now, presented by Chase.
Make it 104-98. I think you guys had 3 steals in a row after that.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a back-breaking kind of dunk, and the guys didn't give up and right away.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want to give up a dunk in that situation. We always say protect the basket first and then build out. So, it was a good trip. In early start again, be ready to go, and they scored. They're hard to guard. They're really skilled guys who can put it on the floor. Halliburton, Nembhard, McConnell put a lot of pressure on you. Buddy Hield is a tough cover, very clever, and doesn't need much space to get a shot off. Matherin is tough to deal with. Turner spreads you out. Nesmith had a big game, so they went small, and that was good for us to see. And when teams go small, we got to pound them.
RJ had a lot of success in the paint tonight, and not just by barreling his way there. A lot of touch shots, clever moves, that kind of stuff. What was working
RJ
well
was
for him?
terrific all around. And reading the game well, and depending upon who's guarding him, he's taking advantage of what he should take advantage of, and he's a tough cover.
Didn't have a field goal all night, and then 303 left you down 4. It's a big one to bring you guys back into it.
Yeah. And his defense was very good, so he gave us good minutes. I thought Quick's minutes were really good. Isaiah and Jericho, they gave us we got a good burst to start the second quarter. And then every time we got the lead, 8 or 10, we sort of messed around with turnovers, and that hurt us. But that's what they do. They're very good at turning you over. We know we got to take care of the ball, but their shot blocking is problematic, and you want to keep them out of the open floor.
You're encouraged by seeing a 3rd game of a road trip, and not everything's going right today, and it has to really be a grind.
Yeah, just find a way to win. So it's hard to win a game on the road. So to come in and scratch one out when there wasn't great rhythm to the game. We got to the line 30 times, which I thought was huge for us. So the rebounding, attacking the basket, making our free throws, everything, we needed everything.
How impressed were you with Julius's defense on Halliburton on those 2 possessions?
Yeah, I think he's taking a lot of pride. It's allowing us to do more switching, and that's what I like about RJ, Quentin, and Jules. And when they're small like that, it allows us to do that, and you could probably incorporate Mitch in that and some, and Jericho as well.
What do you think of the job Mitch did down low defensively?
Tremendous. Every game it's protecting the rim, making good decisions, guarding the pick and roll, and then offensively, the offensive rebounding, and then putting pressure on the rim. And so oftentimes they're putting 2 people on them, and that opens it up. We get a tip or scramble, and it's a kick out, and it's a 3. So just keep playing to your strengths, and he's been playing great basketball for us.
Jalen, in the post-game interview with Mike and Clyde, just talked about the composure that this team has, just the calming presence of Jalen down the stretch when the team did fall behind by 6.
Yeah, and the point guard is, it's a leadership position. His job is to manage and control the game. And so I think that's, it's what he does very well. And I think Jules helps with that as well, and RJ does too. But Jalen's the point guard, so he's the guy in charge of all of it.
Some teams, and they're just like throwing multiple guys at Mitch on the offensive boards. Does that affect your transition defense?
No, I think that because we always say, like, everything is a shared responsibility. So we got to protect the basket first. You don't have a man. You protect our basket, and then we go from there. Then find the ball, mark the shooter, stop the ball, build your wall, do all the things that you need to do to have a sound defense. We got to take that part away and build out the shell. And then whatever it is we're doing, whether it's defensive transition, pick and roll, catch and shoot, low post, it's building out your shell.
What I mean more, I guess, maybe I phrased it weird, is like when they're sending multiple guys at Mitch, they're not necessarily able to leak out and get out as much.
For sure.
Is there a correlation there?
Probably so. I think the running teams, and that's the one thing I think they've done great this year, is they really push the pace and they score early in the clock. And so, and they have the ability, because of the versatility of their roster, to go big and small, and you have to be able to handle both lineups.
You guys now have the second highest winning percentage on the road of it. I think only the Celtics have a better winning percentage on the road. What do you make of why you guys have played so well on the road?
Well, I think to win, it's your defense, your rebounding, and keeping your turnovers down. That puts you in position to win. So, and if we keep doing what we're doing offensively, where we're creating rhythm for each other, we're going to score plenty of points. So we have to understand what goes into winning, and then how you win. And each game is different. Like like win streaks don't mean anything. This game won't mean anything in our next game. You got to start all over, put the work into preparation, and then when the ball goes up, be ready to go.
So it doesn't mean anything to you that you now have the longest winning streak in the NBA?
Nope.
All right. My question, Don, I'm going to ask you if momentum can carry over. You won a game with 19 lead changes, and you grinded out the final seconds. I didn't know if momentum could carry over the next.
No, I just think, like, it's obviously it's always better to win, but to think that you're going to win the next game because you have a win streak, that's usually how if you start skipping over the steps to prepare for a game, then there's gonna be slippage, and then you're gonna get knocked down. And I don't want us to get knocked down. I want us to be ready for the next game, and then when we handle that one, whatever happens, then be ready for the next. Make sure that you have your routine down, and don't allow anyone to distract you, particularly the media.
On to the next. In our next segment, the MSG 150, Jaden Ivey against the Nets. Ooh. Look at that. Highlights next. All right, so the Knicks host Golden State Tuesday. That game's on TNT. Back here on MSG Wednesday, the Knicks host the Raptors. Game at 7:30. Pregame is always here at 7. Back now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra. A reminder to enjoy every bucket. All right, the Julius Randle free throw shooting, really the key down the stretch. He's made 6 straight free throws, but overall, Wally, what a game. I mean, you can't overlook the fact that in addition to the 25 points, he also grabbed 14 rebounds.
That was the key to the game, because those Pacer players, they're relentless on the boards too, and they couldn't make a shot. So the Knicks needed someone to get some rebounds. And then when the Knicks went cold a little bit in the fourth quarter, he got every offensive rebound also. So he had a tough matchup. Andrew Nesmith, he did a good job defending him. He was a little bit smaller, a little more undersized, so he was getting into Randle, trying to keep him off balance a little bit. But Julius Randle still put up a nice game. He didn't have to take a ton of shots. Fairly efficient at 7 for 17. That was a monster finish. Yeah,
right dunk left.
Yeah, that was just big time. And that was the ferocity and the anger about this game. You could see the guys were playing with a little bit of extra edge. There was a little bit more on the line for this game, it looked like. And, you know, you got to play like that if you want to win games in the East. The East, every time you tip it up, it's going to be a tough one.
I just love, like I said, that this is the way he's playing feels like 2 years ago, and I really believe it's because there's less pressure on him to do almost everything. He could focus on rebounding. He could certainly focus on scoring.
All right, so you got Brunson with 30, Randall 25, R.J. Barrett 24. We'll get Barrett's post-game reaction when we continue after this as the Knicks beat the Pacers by 3. Knicks Warriors Tuesday on TNT. Knicks Raptors Wednesday here on MSG. Pregame at 7, game at 7:30. The Knicks have won 7 straight. They beat the Pacers. R.J. Barrett after the game in which he scored 24 points.
Guys down 6. I think 3 steals in a row. The 3 by Jalen. Just kind of what you saw down the stretch there for this team to pull this out.
Yeah, you know, Jalen really started off right there at the end with some huge plays for us, and we had some key rebounds, and I mean, you know, Julius knocking down those free throws at the end of the game was huge. So it was great, man. We fought all the way to the end.
A lot of success for you tonight in the paint, and not just like putting your head down and going there. It was like a lot of touch shots and that kind of stuff. Why was that working for you so well today?
They got shot blockers. Trying not to get blocked. But nah, man, just trying to read what the game is giving me. You know, sometimes take it there, sometimes just shoot a little floater. So.
You guys feel like you're on a string right now defensively in the way you're playing?
I think like it's both ends of the court. You know, we're doing pretty well on both ends. Especially that team is very offensive, talented team. So you know, to be able to come in here and get a win was huge.
RJ led the Knicks in playing time, over 42 minutes, as the Knicks beat the Pacers by 3. We'll look ahead next. All right, 3 straight home games ahead for the Knicks. Tuesday's game against the Warriors is on TNT. We have the games against the Raptors and the Bulls. Christmas Day, of course, will be a national game when the Knicks take on the 76ers. So you got the Warriors coming to town without Steph Curry on Tuesday night.
You've got also, to me, a team that's red hot, winning games, right? Coming back now to the Garden, where it's Christmas week, it's holiday week in New York City. The building is going to be rowdy. Like, I remember this time of year as a beat writer, just being in the building, sitting courtside, even when the team wasn't winning a lot, is the best place to be right now, especially when the Knicks are winning.
Hot ticket, baby. Let's go. Fans are going to be fired up. Can't wait.
What a great 2 weeks for the Knicks. 7 straight wins, 6 straight wins on the road for the first time since 2013. So again, Wednesday night is our next MSG broadcast, Knicks and Raptors. Tuesday night against the Warriors is on TNT. Wednesday night we have the pregame at 7 and the game at 7:30. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Up next here on MSG, it's MSG Shorts. Knicks a gutty win at the Pacers, 109-106. Mitchell Robinson was great. Knicks played great D the entire game, and Tom Thibodeau's group is now 17-13. Look at Jalen Brunson with a key play as well.